As the cemetery gates slammed shut behind me, I finally had a moment to catch my breath.
Okay. Our visibility is so much more obstructed now. Let us save our game. And I'm hoping gain some idea of where we are. For a moment with those fences, it almost looked like back where we were at the beginning, but I doubt that would be the case. Anything of note down in this tomb? Ooh, another spirit. Oh, it's you again. I guess it's nice to see you again. Did you find what you were looking for from inside the shell? If you didn't know already, all the souls who met here have lost their essence. Now they just wander, trapped here forever, hoping to be saved. Me? Oh no, you're not taking me with you. Here I can't feel a thing, and I prefer it that way. Well, let's continue down this path, I suppose, knowing full well that we're gonna have to return to that
My
cave.
shoes sank into the damp moss. In the hard rain and dense fog, it was tough to see ahead.
Definitely, and we've kind of already lost the trail. This terrain is definitely getting rougher, turning me in circles. Somehow it's even harder to navigate than before. Here, maybe? There's another ringing phone out there somewhere. Huh. Someone decided to go out with some music. Well, it seems this thing is in far too terrible shape to actually use now. Or maybe my character just doesn't have the will to. Then again, he did say he knows nothing about music. Where is that?
Hans, please come home.
That seemed to be more like laughter at the end there. Oh, you gonna have something to say? You have the wrong number! 1986. Okay, well, let's remember that. Potentially a significant year. Most definitely a door code for something. Were there any codes that we never put in? With no map, I have no idea how to navigate here. No landmarks, no nothing. So we'll just continue on. continuing uphill in the rain, boots sliding under our feet. Moonlight, our only source of light, which is actually quite significant now that we have this crazy mask that there's like no reason to ever take off. I mean, life is good in terms of findable resources. And I'm getting all kinds of achievements for collecting this stuff. But man, this game really does. I mean, partially for me, definitely, because I'm doing this all in one sitting. This game really makes you feel the fatigue that this guy is going through, and given the strange time properties of this place, we don't even really know that it has been one night. I mean, he's slept. There's another of these things right here, and now the mouth. The void deepens. Still you have to determine what that actually means, beyond maybe just an achievement or something. Oh, great. A cave and a mountain pass. Oh. Is this going to be the opposite side of that door? We're back at Gatorland. Okay, this might be easier said than done. A lighter is the thing you want to have while running and jumping in the rain. Let's go. Just don't look down, and by that I mean exclusively look down, because we need to keep on the path. There we are. And we've at least avoided death. Well, death by spike. Death by whatever's in this water remains to be seen. This is a really good set of lighters we found, is what I'm finding. But maybe this is only a one-way door. Or maybe it's a no-way door. Dang it! It seems like some kind of mine shaft. One of these things has burned out. Which, I don't know what's powering these things, but I didn't know that could happen. You can't interact at all. I can clearly see the line where it's just darkness beyond. Well, we can always continue up this way, I suppose. Ooh.
No way.
That's just what I was thinking. How did this happen? And there's another gold piece suspended above it. Maybe we should use some of our soul residue here. Maybe we're going to be spending a lot of time here. Come on. Well, now I see the significance of the 1986. Maybe what we're realizing is that this isn't a place for people who just got lost. Maybe it's people who died and don't realize it. Which does not say good things about our chances of ever getting home. It's all... This is crazy. A spacecraft all overgrown, but with the lights still on. Space shuttle key. Operation manual. In certain extreme situations, the system may enter a hibernate state to prevent further damage. After the issue is solved, the operator can manually override power controls. The manual override is located at the back of the cargo bay. It can't be engaged if the storage safety sensors signal moving cargo. Ensure that it's properly secured before continuing. Yes? Oh, a camera. Okay, so how do we make sure that this cargo is properly secured? And what is the new danger?
Now there's power. I can use the robot arm.
Okay. You know, I have to say, this is not something that I expected to be doing today. Like, of all the potential things, this really, truly just was not on my bingo card. Come on. I'm thinking we have to activate this and then make our way back undetected. There we go. Okay, run, 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 run. There's another one right there. You move by for safety. Thank you. And one more. And boop. And we can leave. I'm the moving cargo. Alright. So let's get out. And we'll probably, I imagine, have to climb on top or into the cockpit. I don't know. Well, we're up here now. Space shuttle platforming! Ow. Oh, wow, you are one big mama of those things. Probably want to avoid you. And we cannot climb down the rocket nozzles, sadly. Here's where we can use the cockpit key. I would never have thought that that was a door. But there we go. I just figured it had to be around here somewhere for us to be underneath. Okay, hang on. Let me just sit here and fulfill a childhood dream.
We're experiencing extreme turbulence like nothing we've seen in simulations. The sensor readings are all over the place. They can't be right. Altitude is still rising. Engines are working. Might be something wrong with the nose pump. There's a lot of fire in front. It's so bright, it's hard to see. Big explosions, Houston. We heard a loud bang. Something exploded, but we're still intact. We don't see what it was. It's like, looks like it came from outside. Did we hit something? The engines are gone. We're going down.
Alright, let's see what this does. Oh, I see. We're seeing a camera feed of the robotic arm. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. So that thing is up there. We need to grab it, but I just can't really see it on the camera. So we need to lower you down a bit.
Bang, something exploded, but we're still intact. We don't see what it was. It's like, looks like it came from outside.
There you go. You got it.
Did we hit something?
Just had to swing you forward.
We're going down.
I have no idea at what point in development they even conceived of doing this. Not that I'm complaining. Now, where did that robotic arm get off to is the question. Either way, I think this warrants climbing the space shuttle again for inspection. There we are. Getting up here is very annoying. And yep. And yep. There we go. Well, it's been so long since we've been back there that we have 2 vases and 3 gold pieces in our inventory. And maybe we can find another obelisk around this area. Some weird groaning and grumbling noises coming out of you. There's no Hector Salamanca to warn me of danger for you, so I'm assuming you're okay. Cyan lighter. I've colored lighters lately. Ooh, there's a note here. A peculiar riddle. No idea what this is about. One of the paintings is a tiny white being that looks like it wants to visit the forest in the picture next to it. The tiny white thing doesn't look anything like the one biting people. In one of the paintings, there's a black frog-like creature. I don't know if it's coincidence, but 3 of the creatures hang in the gallery in order from darkest to lightest, from black to gray and to white. The orange monstrosity, the one that lives on a mountain, seems to fear its neighbor, and the neighbor's method of suffocating its victims. The gray being stabs its prey with spike-like hands, and it looks pretty peaceful compared to the one in the cabin that tears its targets to shreds. The dark orange monster in the picture next to the cave tends to simply drive its victims crazy before consuming them whole. The creature on the right doesn't seem like a creature at all. It just looks like a cube. But when you know it most definitely is not just a cube, you start to see why it's so terrifying. The cave and the mountain are side by side, and it seems like the cave might actually be on the specific mountain in the other picture. There's a long green monster that hangs next to the tiny one, but it's nothing like the comics. It bites people. The tall terror lives on a large boat in the middle of the sea, and it looks like it just tries to find its way home, but that's probably not true. You're right, that made no sense, but maybe it'll matter later. That cube is... I haven't looked up into the sky in a while, but that cube is becoming more and more fully formed the deeper we go. Yeah, you feel like you should go back? Well, you've said that before. There does seem to be another obelisk right here. Alright, these have become fairly straightforward. Which is why we're due for a twist, honestly. Alright. 3... 4, 5, and 9. Yep. And we get another one of these. A whole city is engulfed by flames. Another note here. Alice's burden, 4 of 5. I hid Noah's body and stayed in bed for 3 days. Told the children I was sick. They brought me soup. But then I couldn't stay still anymore. The urge was too strong. I found our firstborn sleeping in the barn. I hit him in the head with a plank and boiled him in salt water and ate him. I feel like I gained some of myself back. I will eat all of them. I was on your side for much of this story. Not so much the most recent edition. Another lighter. Orange lighter. Very similar to the red lighter. Huh. I kind of figured you'd do this. Not glowing until we get here, until we have everything we need from this area. Oh, let's step through. I have a feeling it takes me back out in the second area. This is not the second area. In fact, it's nowhere we've ever been, but I believe there was a photograph of this place before, wasn't there? Something that's kind of cool about this game is that some things don't pay off until way, way later. Gardening soul. Watch your step, son.
Oh, sorry.
There's something familiar about you.
Oh?
Yeah. What's your name?
Paul.
Paul. Paul, dear boy, it's me.
Grandfather? Oh my god, it really is you.
I can't believe it. What are you doing here?
What do you mean, what am I doing here? I got lost just like you. But how are you here again?
Again?
Yeah, did you try to find me?
I'm sorry, son, you lost me there. I've never gotten out of this place.
What? I mean, I just saw you a couple of days ago.
A couple of days? That can't be true. I've been trapped in this forest as long as I can remember.
This must be an illusion again. I know for a fact that I just saw you.
I'm sorry, but you're mistaken. I've been gardening here for
Who is Tietäjä?
somebody years. Oh, he's a fine fellow. Let me do the gardening and keeps me safe here. I don't have to be afraid anymore.
But wait a second. If you have been here all the time, then how can you also be out in the real world?
It's the manifestation of Lempo itself, I'm afraid. It has taken your grandfather's body and now roams free in your realm.
It's one thing to believe in the supernatural in a place like this, but that sounds...
I don't need you to believe me. You can make up your own reality as you wish, but for me it's a fact. Lempo is with your family as we speak, in disguise, luring them inside its spell.
No, I need to get back now.
I apologize again, but I think my theories have misled you. I failed to escape, and I'm not even sure that there is a way out.
No, don't say that.
Do not fear. Your grandfather's hypothesis was correct. There is a way out, and it is indeed in the core. You are on the right track.
I'm sorry. I need to go.
You're missing an egg piece still. I can provide you with one. It's in my study. Help yourself.
In his study?
It's up there. I think he plays something with his cantella to get there. I'm sorry I don't know how to help you more. I just tend to these flowers. He's rarely even here.
Elijah, I'm coming home.
Well, this has been an ancestral journey. But is it possible then that... I mean, they basically stated our family is in danger of ending up here, but given what we found out there, I wonder if there aren't manifestations of this Lempo all over.
I'm not gonna leave you here. I'm gonna save us both.
Imagine if I had forgotten to do that. This place is quite peaceful, though, compared to the rest of the place. Let's have a look around, I guess. Oh no, it's one of these things. Oh my god. Okay, well the thing about this, though, at least it's not sliding box, it's just rotation. Which means that once you get one, the rest kind of just falls into place. You... and you, and you, right? Maybe not. No, you've got to go there, which means you go... there. There we go. Yeah, just one thing was off. Cantel strings made of horsehair. Alright, yeah, that was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. This one just goes to here. Even more above. We can sleep in an open shell. What happens if we climb down here? Another of these places. And a big head of one of yous guys, and more of those feathers, like that creature we saw in the shell. Well, I mean, I'm happy to be making progress, but even though the architecture may be copy-pasted, there are differences in each one of these. A reason to climb down, even if you don't intend on using it. Paul's grandfather, William, suffered from realistic nightmares since childhood. One dream was above the others in its anxiety, desperation, and how real it felt. The repeating dream would start as a romantic one, with a feeling of love. A beautiful and intimate being would seduce him to go with it. The more William fell in love with the figure, the more evil it turned. William would follow the seducer as far as he could until he was left alone in an endless, emotionless pit. Then the shadows would grow over William and swallow him. In its absurdity, William was sure he had been to the other side. When William was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, the nightmare started occurring more frequently and more intensely. Lempo had nested inside William, and one morning, it wasn't William who woke up. That's the most insight we've gained into how this works yet. Well, up the endless staircase. Is this what we need to do? Like, really? Nope, I guess we're dead. Huh. And now there's a dining room set up here.
Come on, Elijah. There's a spoon right there. Since when is porridge finger food?
We're getting to see the passage of time without us. My grandpa just watching me walk off a ledge into the darkness after coming all this way. Yep, here you go. Oh no, now we have to learn music. Okay, I can barely tell what any of this is. Okay, red, red, green, green, yellow, pink, green, green, blue, blue, yellow, yellow, green, yellow, red, red. And I even get the Rockstar achievement for making no mistakes. I guess I did know something about music after all. That's a nice payoff for that. Now we simply have to step up here, meaning that staircase was always a colossal red herring. Or rather, one that's meant to fool me into hurling myself off a cliff, but I saw what it was and then hurled myself off the cliff. Ooh. And this is the study. Study containing another puzzle from the look of it.
Could this have something to do with the constellations in the sky?
Could it perhaps? Nice stove. Lempo. For some, a god of love and fertility. For others, a devil. People have perceived Lempo differently through the ages. But for those who can't remember, and for those who have seen the birth of the world, a god of destruction and chaos. A strong conjurer. My worst enemy. This realm, Metzenpeto, is partly a spell of Lempo, or it has become one. Something that already was, and something that was created. It's hard to travel in and out, but not impossible. There are gods stronger than it who will have their way if they just want to. The time, the place, and the people trapped here will wither, melting into one living level of existence, where everything is connected. Somehow it fascinates me, the whole beauty of it, but I must be careful of how much time I spend here. I also have my duties elsewhere. Maybe this thing was once a person as well? Another myling. And clearly it at least was a myling at some point. Now seems harmless. A myling is born from a womb of an unwanting mother, and killed soon after. A malevolent and evil spirit enraged by the betrayal of one's mother. One should be careful around these. I've been carrying them around in my pocket. So no headless person, no horsey, and no fishhook. Okay. So what actually happens if one just starts pressing these things? Oh, I see. They appear on that. So we need to form basically the one we see out here that isn't marked as wrong. So fishhook, wrong. Horsey, wrong. Headless person, wrong. But maybe person with head falling could work? Okay, I think this is coming together. Now I just need that, and there we go. Alright, so what did that... you've opened your jaw. I'm still glad I've yet to encounter a live one of you. And there is our golden chunk. Probably the last one we need. And I've also realized some time back, right, that solving the obelisk in the cave is probably as simple as counting the number of teeth on the keys, but... well, it's only too late. It's only too late that all of this starts to come together. God. Well, that was a horrifying sound, and it was a one-way trip, but this... maybe not, actually. We can interact with the door now. Something's definitely out here. How do we... Okay, so we want to make our way to the southeast. Oh, God.
I had clearly made the forest angry. I was getting close. But at the same time, I noticed a change in myself. I was no longer just afraid. I was angry too.
That's what I like to hear. Okay, but I'm not 100% done yet. Ow. No, I'm not going straight to the cave. Yep, dangers abound, I'm sure. Ow, it's you again. Well, since there's not really a way to run... we are safe here. Let's take a couple of these. Here we are. We can start running across this. Hopefully the thing's pursuing me, not able to chase me across it. One hopes. One really, really hopes. Yep. Now, this way straight to the cave.
I see dead people.
Sure you do. Game saved. And there's a couple of things I would like to do first before we complete this game, believe it or not. You'd think I'd be eager to get out of here.
I was still missing pieces to open the door.
Wait, you are? Maybe 1, 2, 3... 4? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. It's activated, and we get another fine piece of pottery. A god enslaving people. Now we can place down the rest of these vases, if it will let me. Actually, I probably have to place them in order, right? Yeah, the fact that I can take them makes that so. So I'm thinking people building obelisks, right? People using obelisks for something. Now, a couple of these are kind of open interpretation. Maybe fighting a god up in flames and enslaving people? No, these two probably have to be switched. Maybe a god enslaving people, fighting a god, city in flames? No? Okay, in the end I just arranged them from smallest to tallest. And you present me with something as well, so let's actually find out the story from that. Fighting a god, which caused them to become enslaved. They built the obelisks, which I guess brought down the wrath of said god. And in the end, they used it for something. Neat. Neat. Hey, I just noticed something about the statue. Anyway, the Hades ring. Forged by slaves of eternal beings, the ring contains powers not meant to be wielded by men. In Lempo's spell of Metsen Peto, the ring protects you and stops you from getting tired. That was all a side quest? Wow. Alright, but once again, I still have stuff to do here. There's something I've been thinking about this whole time, and I am not stopping until I do it. Oh, right, this collapsed. Oh, that is so annoying. Like, I want to go back for Elizabeth and the other stuff I missed, but I don't see any reason why the entire rest of the map is accessible, but not that first part. Will you actually come with me now? Okay, now you will. Despite the fact that I tried talking to you before. Seleucus. Seleucus was very much a young boy when Lempo deceived the gods of Olympus and waged war upon the people of Greece. The brave people of the powerful kingdom fought back, every man, woman, and child. But as the fooled Olympians looked elsewhere, there was little the Hellenes could do. Lempo enslaved, tortured, and slaughtered them. Seleucus was one of those who was spared, and so he was doomed to live as an outcast without honor until his final days. Trying to redeem himself, it was Seleucus who masterminded and hid away the Ring of Hades, the one which we now possess. Let's put what we can onto here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're missing 1 or 2. Oh, there actually is somebody down here, is there? I'm just at a total loss, so I'm just going around trying to figure out what I can possibly do. I mean, I don't know what's going on with this safe. I don't know why Granddad can't just tell me, considering I'm literally carrying him around. Just try sliding down here, thank you. And I'd be willing to bet you're still about, right? This thing doesn't seem to be coming near me anymore, which is very interesting. I'm still hearing that ding on occasion, but it won't actually show up. Yes, the Graveyard of Trees, thanks for joining us. There's stuff in the bunker as well. By the way, this is the point that we're at for searching. You know those glowing stones, right? Their light reveals the invisible ink. Toddler. Question, should we change procedure? Relax, no one's gonna run around with one. Well, that's funny. Ah, there is something on the roof here. Come on. Old stone lighter. The only thing I really have to go on is this photo of a red window. And to me, that doesn't really look like anything we've seen. Hello, I haven't seen this before. A handmade note with some gibberish on it. I can't read that.
Welcome to my kingdom, stranger!
Okay.
Me and my family are so happy here. My cousin is a gatekeeper nearby. He keeps us safe.
Murder and Harvest Joel. Okay, I guess you're the one I got the achievement for not killing. I guess you can stay. I already finished the puzzle. To be honest, at this point I can't even be sure I really saw and heard that, considering I'm probably going insane from running around for literal hours trying to figure out how to end the game.
Feed yourself to the monster.
Oh, there is a way back through here. And all we find is one of these. There's not really a whole lot to spend this soul residue on relative to how much we find. Might as well try it, right?
I think I've heard enough.
I guess you're okay. This is a long shot. This is the point we've reached, but maybe I can come down here? This is where we found the red photo. Hang on, let's replace those flashlight batteries. Not like we don't have any. The fact that I'm still alive so far suggests that I'm supposed to do this. This might be damaging, so let's restore some of our vitality. Come on! Maybe if we crouch? Come on. Ow. How much did that take? A good bit. 75. That's our max vitality right now. This is not easy to do. Maybe we have to jump into that. Come on. We could also jump down there, it seems. This fog is so dense I can't see a thing. Okay, well here's another one of these. The void deepens. I'm still not sure what that does for me. And this will just lift me up on a cloud of pixie dust. Here's an overturned phone booth. I hadn't discovered this before. It's not being marked on the map. I did not notice that this had happened. Well, I suppose I'm glad. Okay, so something I had found is that when you look at these bird baths in the glow light, there's a number 3. There we go. I had suspected it had to do with those, but I've piled a bunch of these onto these things before and it never worked. This is my first time seeing the number, but... Alright, there we are. There's more of these things. Let's actually use one of these things for the first time, you know, in the end game, since there's nothing else we can do. Take, press 1 to quick heal. Okay, and then we hold down 1, and then we can heal at that, yeah. Not really too useful, but it's... You too, right? 2? Alright guys, we are back in business. I have been tearing my hair out trying to figure this out for like a combined 3 hours of playtime. And I actually resorted to going onto the official Discord and asking how to do this. Now, I actually got an official response in my DMs, and they were very helpful while still remaining as cryptic as this game. But eventually they took pity on my soul and decided to be a little bit more forthcoming. And honestly, this one is on me. I've been running around all this time while the solution was staring me right in the face, and the reason it's on me is because it's something I actually thought of doing and just didn't commit to checking. Now, look, I've been checking the back of Grandfather's notes because I thought it would make sense that he would keep a code around here somewhere. I mean, he told us how to do everything else in here, but I just never checked the specific one further down that I needed. So look, we go down to letter from Grandfather, check the back, nothing, check the back, nothing. I've looked at these two countless times, including Grandfather's theory also. But what haven't we seen yet? Riddle from... Oh, well, I still have no idea about that one. That's not what I'm looking for. Where is the weird note from Grandfather? This is something that I've never been able to figure out, but... Here we are. Here we are, a series of numbers with 5 arrows, presumably corresponding to those digits. This looks like it's going to be a little bit tough to figure out, but you know what? The way I judge these things, and I've talked about this in several puzzle game videos, is the way I judge how I feel about a puzzle that stumps me is when I'm done, do I go, oh wow, how didn't I think of that? Or do I go, that's so dumb, how do they expect you to think of that? And in retrospect, basically every single puzzle in this game has been in the former category. Once I figure it out, and they are tough to figure out, they are far more challenging than most games I've played, but they've been very rewarding once I've gotten them, and I'm really glad I didn't ask for help until this last part. But to its credit, once I figured them out, they were all logical solutions that logically follow from things that it was showing me directly. Very little of it actually depends on finding that needle in a haystack. And that includes this one, honestly, because I've literally been carrying the solution with me for the entire game. Okay, so here, the 28th word, I believe, is home, and the first letter starts with an H, which would be the 8th letter of the alphabet? So maybe we'll try that? Or actually, maybe there's a simpler solution. Maybe it's just the number of letters in that word, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that first. That'll be a little less complicated. Okay, but word 36 is supernatural. That's more than 10 letters, so that can't be the way it works. I'll also tell you what, there's one with 1 dot next to it, 2 dots next to this 9, and then another column of numbers down here. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's literally just the last string. That was like the last thing I was gonna try, was like the last string of numbers that just has nothing on it. I literally have a pen and paper out, and I've got a sheet in front of me where I have the numbers listed in order, which word corresponds to which one. I couldn't even parse out what the dots are, what the arrows mean, and it's an entire paper of red herrings. Well, anyway, hey, it's the gold chunk. Let's get out of the magic forest. Let's go.
Let's get that door open.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I spent so long trying to figure out what, like, complex mathematical code must be going on here. how it corresponds, like, within each other and to the words, and oh my god. And there we go. Wow, the storm is really picking up in a big way. Okay, gotta get my gameplay hat back on. It's been so long, but here we are. It's thundering, it's lightninging. There's platforms floating in the sky. But we've got work to do. I think we're in the home stretch. We've got to be. And once more, these things provide a sort of comfort even amid all this. To ferry? Ferry, are we almost done here? Okay, we've got to make sure we check each of these tombs, each of these shrines. Things truly are getting crazier and crazier the closer we get to this so-called core. Now in the sky, there's no longer a cube, but some kind of green haze. To ferry. I want to see a ferry, but if that's the way out, I want to look around just a little bit more first, because I know there's some things that I haven't completed. I, according to Steam, only have about half the achievements, well, I guess half plus one now. Let's follow these torches, these lanterns. Oh, look, there's like a great chain stretching up into the sky. I have a feeling that must have something to do with our way out. Or we're fulfilling some prophecy and bringing about the end of the world, I don't know. While I was Googling solutions, I probably could have Googled some Finnish mythology as well. Oh, there's something over here. The void deepens, a statue minus all the parts we've found. I guess we're probably missing a hand then. Oh, we can see the beginnings of that chain going into the water. There's more across the way. Numerous old boats. Given the circumstances of everyone who ends up here, I imagine ending up here from lost at sea is quite a common way to find yourself in this predicament. Look at this grass just growing up through the dock. Ferryman's hack. Well, if Ferryman had hacks, how come he didn't hack himself out of here? I make jokes when I'm afraid for my soul. Okay, what did that do? What are you?
The light always needs to shine.
Thanks! Oh my god! After all that time, I wasn't ready for a heart attack of a scare. Okay, rough metal and thick glass, not the newest technology. Must be some pretty large equipment this fits into. Okay, so we need to light the light. Maybe before we can leave. Oh, there we go. Thanks for the help, bud. These are some truly huge chains. The question is, meant to bind what? Do they bind Lempo itself, or something Lempo doesn't want leaving? All I know is that it definitely feels like we're approaching the end game. Moments like this, you just stop and reflect on everything you've been through. And I gotta say, playing all this in just 2 sittings, that first sitting being about 11 hours, it has been a truly wild ride. And, doing it that way, it may not be the intended experience, but it has felt like a battle for my soul with this game. Whether they want me or not remains to be seen, but I am coming home to my family, whatever form that may take. They told us that that's not our grandfather that went back, that we've been living with all this time. So, I wonder if I wasn't influenced to come here, just as they say he's been influencing our family? And maybe... well, I don't know. Has anyone else made it out of here before? Have we heard anything about that? I don't like the way we seem to be slowing down. And it's only now I'm thinking about what great creatures might be lurking in the water below. In grandfather's garden, there was quite a large, let's call it Canaan head. And that we're here. Let's climb aboard and light that light, shall we? Maybe that's what we're meant to do, bring light to the realm. This place of eternal darkness, of eternal night. Yep. Hopping off early.
I was so cold, hungry, and soaking wet at that point. I just remember thinking about throwing myself off the cliff and just be done with it. The place didn't look any more like home than all the places before. I was beginning to lose hope, but my anger kept me going. I was in full-on Terminator mode.
My thoughts exactly. It's another one of Elizabeth's dogs. What does it mean? Okay, I guess we don't have to do this, but we still can. And I'm seeing lights all over the place. This place is actually quite expansive indeed. A whole new area, not just an endgame. But it's a lot more vertical as well, taking place atop these cliffs. So let's just follow the chain and see where it takes us. These seem to react to being looked at. And I'm falling through them. Oh, my weight is too much. Oh, I see, they're timed. Alright, so jump on there. On there. You next. Come on, need you next. Need you, yes. You. 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 And you. And we get to catch a break and find another of these mushrooms. Then we gotta turn around and go the other way. Hey! Oh, come on. Yeah. Come on, 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 come on. Yep. 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 Oh god, this is nerve-wracking at this point. Yep. And yep. Just skip that last one. I wasn't taking any chances. Thank you, developers, for putting a save point right here. I really hope that lever just enables them forever. I might actually be a trailblazer, maybe the first person to get this far. I mean, if Grandfather, smart as he was, couldn't get that door in the cave open. Now, if we use, or... oh, it's a sword. A sword and a pedestal. Alright, then what do we do with you? Seems like a leap of faith, but it's not one that I'm really faithful enough to take. Ah, I see. In the glow from this thing, we can see the walkway. Alright, let's crouch down and hold this. Be very, very careful for gaps, yeah. So this would have worked without this, but we'd be running into some trouble. Invisible platforming, my favorite. If it decides to pull any sneakies, I'm plummeting to my doom. No wonder they put a save back there. And there we are. That was kind of clever. A mug. I saw one of these in Grandfather's cave. I bet these each represent different souls. Each island belonging to another person. This one a book. Alice's burden, 5 of 5. I'm like a new woman. I feel like 19 again. I'm strong and energetic. It's addictive. I will lure more children to the cabin and boil them as well. She became a regular witch. But where else do we go from here? There's a path down this way.
How do I know when I'm in the core? Tieta said I'm on the right track, but didn't say what exactly I'm looking for.
Well, that's this game in general, isn't it? But there is another anchor, like we saw at the sailor spot earlier in the game. Here's another one I probably could have taken with me. Where's all this? So this is what these chains are attached to. And I'm getting subtitles from that obnoxious radio show again. A modern cell phone. Is this perhaps mine? Yeah, I can't hear what you're saying over the storm, and you're not showing any subtitles. It is at the same time and place in eternity. It feeds on the life force of those who can't resist it, and those who will bend eventually, until it has devoured all of existence. I don't know. I mean, with some of what's been said, this Lempo is not all-powerful, and with this chain imagery, well, maybe it's trapped here just as much as we are. Devouring existence is the goal, but well beyond its reach. Otherwise, why hasn't it? There's something over there, it looks like. Oh, it's so dark and hard to navigate. There! That looks to be a lighthouse. Who are you? Have we seen you before? Benjamin. I went and saw the edge of the world. From there I moved on. The captain goes down with the ship, but what if the ship and the captain are separated? I'm tired. Well, why don't you come with me? And now we've got you as well. The two we're missing, I think, are the Cynic and Elizabeth. I really wish it would let me go back. But like I said, I'm not done with that idea yet. Now, what about over here? Okay, now... experience tells me that there's a dragon at the end of this, but, well, maybe there's some other new monstrosity at the end of this, because, well, I've been pretty blindsided by everything so far, including the benevolent spirits. Oh man, only catching the briefest glimpse of that thing on the rafters in the ferry shack. and having it actually be helpful a good thing?
When I saw the lighthouse, I knew I was close. I just didn't know what it was I was close to.
It always ends in a lighthouse, doesn't it? You know, I was a lighthouse keeper once. It didn't end well. And there's a house over there. What might that house be made of? Alright, we are definitely having a look at all this. Have you a red window? You've not. So you're not what I thought you were. But you are something. Metal rod. Probably a piece of something that's been broken a long time ago. Maybe there's another use for it now? What about that house? Oh, there's... It's another throne like of that creature, but this one... This one has left its mask behind. Meaning one of those is flashing its face about. Do we really want to know what's under that mask? I'm not sure. That looks like it could potentially have been the window. Thanks for getting that for me, Lempo. Oh, what a pal. That doesn't look good. There was something I could interact with just there, I think. Anything on the table? No, it looks fairly abandoned. Nothing in the chest. And several ash piles, but no souls. Oh, great. Paper with weird patterns on it. Looks like it probably denotes a combination of some kind.
A couple of fuses have blown.
Okay, so I have to restore power. Is that it? What happens if we try to access here? We cannot. It's behind this fence. We can climb the ladder, but I don't know if we'll be able to get in. I can see this cable running up into that light. And it's the revenge of these things. Ah, I should have known you guys were waiting to pull a brick joke after the shell. There's the save statue. You're pretty far away, actually. Looking out over a pond. Oh, that's right. We can open these drawers. Okay, I forgot about that. Delicate metal key. I'm really hoping that that goes to the thing on the lighthouse. Alright, there we go. I spent this whole game waiting for another search, and then by the time we got to another search, I had forgotten how to search. Really gotta hope, because otherwise I have no leads. There we go. And that will probably lower yield thing. So that did. You did. Oh man, who builds these things? Like, what's the utility? I mean, I guess I can sort of understand. The thing around the shell, they wanted to keep dangerous creatures out. Crap. Okay. Maybe, okay, or maybe we could just cheese this thing. All right. Well, leave it to me to break the game. Hope that doesn't break the scripting. And here we are. Well, I don't know how I was supposed to solve that, but there we are. Okay, now you obviously correspond to that code.
There's a small metal link on the platform.
Oh, I see. We can hold that down. Okay, well, that was easy to miss. That also solves that problem, so we don't have to cheese this anymore. But it doesn't help us tremendously with the puzzle at hand. Maybe it has to do with the fuse box? I mean, there's 6 switches, 6 of these. Or who knows, maybe it's everything except those, I don't know. All I know is I do not know what to do with you. Oh, wait, there's cellar doors right here. If they want to open, they're interactive, but I can't get them to do anything. Okay, I just had an idea. Maybe you add up the number of sides. So 1, 2, but then that would be 1, 2, 3. I don't know, man. Wait, does this actually have a 0? It does. Alright, so I've actually tried tracing this out on paper. And basically what I did was I had one row that shows these. I had one row that shows the other paper. And I wrote them over each other to actually visualize it. And it looks like we've got 4206. There we go. And they did correspond to the fuse, or else this wouldn't be working right now. That's a little scary. Oh god, what kind of lighthouse works this way? Is this place under the curse of Lempo, or is it just built by the same engineers as the shell? In any case, see, the only reason I figured that out was because I realized that the dash here turned this into a 4. That's why I pursued that line of logic. Okay, moving on. Why is it that every game I play seems to have the solution lie in a lighthouse? No one lives under the lighthouse. In sound mind. Probably some other... Oh yeah, Alan Wake. Actually, this character sort of reminds me a little bit of Alan Wake. Let's make our way up. I think the reason they're so popular for stuff like this is because... Well, it's a climb to the top, symbolizing a journey to salvation, I suppose. I mean, in a moment, this place is going to light up the darkness that's pervaded this place ever since we arrived. You know, since I never technically left the office grounds, does all this count as overtime? Dude, what if time doesn't pass the same in the overworld, and I get to claim like 1,000 hours of overtime, if not more? Well, let's see if that element we were given will actually work in this place. Seems the lenses are intact. From what I understand, it's the lenses that are the expensive part. You come here now. A broken lighthouse light. A burned bulb from the lighthouse. It's huge. Let's put in ours. Will this get going? Duck down. We don't want that in our eyes. And it may not have lit up the darkness, but it's certainly become a beacon. Only question is, what did that actually do for us? Maybe it called something in, or maybe that thing will have some kind of reaction. Doesn't seem like the chains are actually going up to it, but I honestly didn't look to see if they were before. Do I have to just shove my face in there? What happens if that happens? No? Okay. I don't know how to feel about this missing rail segment. That seems dangerous. I don't know if there's anything else I'm supposed to do up here, or if I can't maybe go down there and maybe the doors will have opened under that statue. Howdy, folks. Hey. You know, I've done quite a big favor for you, so $1 each. Just each of you put $1, slide it into my coat pocket, and I think I should be coming away somewhat compensated for this event. Oh, God. You just, like, solidified forms of the guy we saw in the beginning. Am I gonna have to walk down through that? I get the feeling I maybe shouldn't touch you. But what happens if I do? Make my way through, make my way through. Out of my way, folks. I've really brought a community together. They're all drawn by it. Which means it was probably put out for a reason. Yes, these doors have opened. Were you all waiting down below? I wonder if this thing... Again, this is me not being familiar with Finnish mythology, but I wonder if this thing isn't maybe some kind of lesser deity to Lempo? I mean, we've seen evidence of other such things. Even the one that let Grandpa tend his garden. Well, down we go. We're still here.
Okay, this must be it. The core.
The core. There's another of Elijah's dolls. Do I still have mine? I do. Oh my god! Well, it may not be worth the $350 we can sell these things for, but... I mean, if I keep running back in a loop, I could have a pretty profitable toy business. I may have just discovered some kind of dupe glitch that is still getting me even after all this time. How many times have I heard that sound? Mom, Dad, great-grandfather, and me. I'm the only one alive in this? I really, really hope that... Oh no, is it possible that it dropped me back out in a completely different time period?
I could feel a kind of pressure building up, and it made it harder to breathe. I could sense the desperation of the entity. I was a threat, and this was its last chance to stop me.
Maybe it's trying to convince me that I have no reason to go back? Alright, I didn't see anything back that way, probably just wasting time at this point. I wish I could read that sign. What is that down there? That looks like either a door or a humanoid figure. I'm seeing more of those bulbous things off to the sides. Maybe we should... Oh, we can't run. We're restricted to... I found the red window. Is this the office? It had said that Lempo was trying to grow to consume the entire world. I didn't think... No, this has to be an illusion, right? It has to be. Can we get in this way? We can. I'm gonna go around the side first. My light's flickering. What? Why did you have me look up like that? You know, I hate to say it, but this place looks like it's been abandoned for years. Like, many years. Like, I've done a lot of urbex. I've never seen a place that looked like this, least of all with power still running to those destroyed lights. And I don't like what's happening to my own lights right now. Maybe I have to make my way back to the office that I was in the beginning? Or maybe I'd be better off just switching to the lighter. Thank goodness for this mask. This is like a break room. There was scary music when I first arrived. Now, it's eerily silent. Staircase going up. We can't even re-enter our own office. If someone gets too far, maybe farther than anyone's gotten before, where armies and geniuses failed? Is it possible that I'll be confronted with the creature itself? Honestly thought that was like a slumped over moldy corpse at first. So used I've grown to the textures. Nothing here.
I could feel a draft coming through the wall. There had to be a secret door.
Okay.
I immediately started to look for a hidden switch.
Okay, thank you for the input, otherwise I probably wouldn't have thought of it, honestly. And nothing in here. There's gotta be something somewhere. Maybe that light has something to do with it? By the way, I'm really chuckling to myself right now at the thought of an ancient deity watching this office drone scrounge around in here looking for a switch that's going to end his whole career and sweating. Ah, it's one of these books. There we go. You know, this is the kind of thing I would have loved as a kid. Lempo should honestly get a job as an architect. Oh, what? You got nothing smart to say right now? Darwin! Wow, you even gave me a comfy room with my best bud. I almost feel like it's telling me, oh, you like light? Here's your light. It's really angry now. I kind of wonder if I haven't empowered a rival god. This is it, that red room, the one that seemed to provoke some kind of reaction in my character when I picked it up.
This had to be it. My essence. The missing piece.
It was always about family. Oh wow, our guy is actually pretty attractive, wow. Some might think it's sad, but for me, it's my family that truly completes me. Yeah, some might say that's sad. You know, I always put on this bold face and tell everybody that it's my work life, but if only they knew it was actually my family. God, what a
Now
loser.
there was only one more thing to do.
Kill a god? We've gone surprisingly unopposed. Maybe what I need to do is just sit right back down at my chair. No? Well, the objective screen's got nothing more for me. I've just got to confront you. Wow, it's not even gonna let me get a good look at you. Oh, and only now I realize you're the one with the bucket of fish. The confrontation is on. Now that my essence is returned, can you even do anything about me?
Okay, you fish-smelling piece of shit. Here I am. Do your worst.
Wow, your worst was pretty bad. I was completely eviscerated. But maybe now that we've got our essence, maybe now that door will finally be open. This is not the ending I was hoping for, but it is one that I've long suspected. Ever since we found the Challenger, I've just been thinking that what this is a place where people who have died but don't know it yet come. Across the bridge. And here we finally are at the end of our journey. It was always through Limbo. like many things, it was right in front of us all along. This is not what I expected to see. It's as if we never left. There we go. Now, the achievement I just got says, "Curses no thanks. Get out of that realm." Oh, hey, and I just got the achievement for beating it without using the hint system, which I do not deserve credit for because I asked for help on the Grandpa's safe puzzle. Also, I didn't know how to access any hint system. I mean, I was aware of that achievement, but I couldn't see any way to do it. Maybe a tutorial told me how, and I just glanced over it. But yeah, that was Lempo. And this has been an absolutely crazy day for me. I've never finished a game, like a full-length game, in one sitting before, but oh, good lord, what an experience. I really feel like I've been through this. I really feel like it actually enhanced what this character felt and the way that was conveyed to me. Because it is ultimately a game that isn't about difficult chases or anything like that. It's about the despair and how much it wears on you going through this thing, with doubt constantly being thrown your way. It is about bringing souls to their knees and making it so that they lose the will to even try and leave. Which is actually pretty brilliant, because that's sort of what it does with the player. Now, like I said, I'm someone who is completely unfamiliar with Finnish mythology, and in that way, this game was absolutely amazing. I mean, I constantly felt like everything I was dealing with had so much rich history and lore to it, but that I myself was only barely scratching the surface in my interactions with it. Like, all this crazy imagery was so packed with meaning, but meaning that I don't automatically associate with anything the way I would with something like Dracula or Bigfoot, you know? And there's that Unreal logo. I might as well at this point talk about how, on a technical level, this game is amazing. I mean, forests are very, very difficult to do in world design. I mean, it's hard to make it feel open and detailed while still keeping the player within bounds. But this game managed it quite well. Not to mention, it also ran extremely well at 4K. I mean, I had no performance issues or anything, even in spite of it being really, really pretty looking. I mean, the way it was truly dark in these forests. Onto is real. Oh, that is so sad. I guess the sailor's dog was a dedication. This game is a work of fiction. Placing that at the end there in such bold terms and what should be obvious, that feels more like... Well, it feels more like I could wake up there one day. I think my comparison early on to say that this world is like the backrooms of mythology is actually pretty accurate. I mean, people just end up there, and it's like they vanish without a trace. Sorry, I'm just taking care of some unfinished business, and I'll use this to give the rest of my closing thoughts. Coming back here, it almost feels... It's weird. For something that I experienced less than a day ago, this feels so unbelievably nostalgic. Now would be a really good time to bring up the scares in this game, because obviously it is a horror game, and I've hardly talked about that. There are a few, like, truly panic-inducing moments. However, much like this, it's almost like... it's almost like old-school fairy tale horror. It's this whimsical sort of fantasy situation, and yet the effects of what it does to people are so absolutely horrific, with shades of like body horror and just, well, just the existential horror of being in this situation. It's almost like a more realistic take, a modern person coming face to face with the old legends. And all the while, that connection, having this whole game be essentially about following in our grandfather's footsteps and eventually surpassing him with new knowledge. Well, it's sort of like the way these stories were passed down in the first place, the way they persisted from thousands of years ago into the modern day. And I really like having us not only engage with our character more by starting out at that office, but also just seeing how easily we ended up in this situation. That and all of the references to our family throughout, I just love how it was constantly going back and forth between those highs and lows where we feel encouragement to move on, and like it might be easier to just lay down and die. That whispering voice we'd occasionally hear in our ear was really sending some mixed messages. And I also really liked the way it played around with time. The way we're able to meet people from different eras. The way it sort of shows the age and the all-powerfulness of this place by showing that it's something that just doesn't die, that hasn't died, that people have tried to study, that people have tried to fight. It just gives it such a sense of agelessness and, at the same time, connecting us to that past. I also enjoyed the diverse ways in which the story is told. We have some notes, yes, but they mainly serve to flesh it out and give the different perspectives that people who have ended up here have had on the place. Because, I mean, if you go with the idea that mythology is basically just ancient man's ways of explaining things they couldn't understand, well then, obviously people are going to have different takes. And that may be defined by their culture, the period they lived in. It tells some of its story through the environments, just from what we can see and not what it's telling us, through the dialogue of some of the souls who are trapped here. And if you do have knowledge of some of these legends, well, maybe you could even get some of the inherent implications that are packed into some of the imagery that's here. That's another cool thing this does, is that none of the puzzles ever demand that you already have any pre-existing knowledge of any of this. Okay, you didn't really think I was leaving without taking this with me, did you? Yeah, before I was waving my mouse all over you and it just wasn't working, but now I've got you. Yeah, I'm sorry. Much like the baby in The Exorcist Legion VR, that was one I just was not going to leave behind, and I will be completing the save again just to get her to the end. Elizabeth, a lovely girl, living with her father after her mother died giving birth. She had the brightest eyes and a smile that won over everyone. Lempo took her when she was only 9. She just wants to find someone to play with. But with that unfinished business tied up, once again, that was Lempo. And look, I've probably sunk close to 15 hours into it at this point, with, in all honesty, probably close to 5 hours of that being the hunt for the last golden chunks. But that was really amazing, and I can't remember everything that I would want to say about it, except that it is so absolutely packed with lore and meaning, and a story that helps us to engage with our character and really feel those highs and lows. I think that's what it does so well, is that it makes you engage with the character and make it really feel like you're going through an ordeal. And that's one of the best things you can do with a video game story. I really feel like Paul, through all of this, kind of became one of those mythological heroes. The one who found it within himself through sheer determination and through knowing what he was fighting for to essentially outsmart the gods and beat them at their own game. I can't believe I never mentioned it during the game, but I also adored the soundtrack. I mean, we've got this piano melody during the main menu sequence, but throughout the game, it's so string-heavy in a way that almost reminds me of The Witcher. And it just makes it feel like you're always entering into a space that is so old, maybe older than humanity itself. It's almost like the strings being played are the tall grass as your legs run through them. I want to once again give a huge shout out to PID Games for providing me with this early key. And thank you to the helpful Discord admin who helped me out with Grandpa's stupid lockbox. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.